Welcome to LightBurn promo number 2 for Engraver's Choice. My name is Joe Braga. I own EngraversChoice.com. I am a rep for Boss and for LightBurn. This promo is going to be more of us watching Jason move the mouse around and me just kind of explaining what he does. So the big thing here is, and I will repeat this a couple of times, is there's a full regimen of these videos on YouTube. Basically, as you're looking at LightBurn, you're looking at basically a 2020 GUI. So it's Windows 10 GUI. It'll work in other Windows platforms, but it's for advanced. It works in Mac, Linux. It does things for the laser, knowing for a fact that's where you're going to go. So places where we would hit 9 things in CorelDRAW, we might hit 1 thing here, or it just zooms in the background. So as you get through, you're going to see the control or the control panel there to the right, toolbar to the left, standard bar at the top, and then the property bar in between, which means it's going to interactively change with what situation that we're in. He's drawing primitives right now, which is just boxes and circles and squares, etc. And then he's kind of going through how you can set these up to where you have a customized desktop. Very, very big when it comes to making sure that you're not looking through 12 things you never use to get to the one thing you do use. Now, remember, if you decide you're not going to use a certain Docker like Move, because you don't want to really control things from the PC or your Mac, you can turn it off. If later on you determine you want to use it, turn it right back on. Now, this interfaces nicely with CorelDRAW, EngraveLab, and just about any Windows-based software that you like to use, Inkscape, Adobe, AutoCAD, SolidWorks, whatever you need to use. I like it from CorelDRAW and EngraveLab because CorelDRAW is the most popular software presently for what we're doing. EngraveLab's number 2 with a bullet. But only EngraveLab and LightBurn are specifically made for lasers. This is big. And LightBurn's the only one with its own graphical interface built right in. Showing right now is our boolean wells. So he's showing how other softwares will try to destroy your layout when you try to weld a double image like the 2 ovals. With the boolean weld, it's going to see it automatically as you do it and automatically set it up for what you want, what the end product's going to be. What he did was, Jason, the owner of LightBurn, he got through and talked to a lot of laser engravers on the things they did repeatedly over and over, and the things they liked or disliked about RDWorks, LaserWorks, LaserCAD, EasyCAD, etc. And so as we went through, he started to put in these features for a welding. And because we automatically join things, what happens is, as it's lasering through, you're going to want everything to connect. Or you're going to want it to raster correctly. You're not going to want to raster the inside of the A by accident or have it do the background and not the foreground, else you specifically tell it to. But also remember, as he's doing stuff here, you're noticing that he's lining stuff up quickly. It's got a lot of snap 2s. Now, the snap 2s are really important because he has it set up to where if I pull and drag a marquee box from the left, I get one selection, a marquee box from the right, I get another selection. And notice it welded correctly. That's our boolean. And that is unique to LightBurn. I cannot find that anywhere else. Not saying it doesn't exist. I just don't know about it. And I've been in the industry since 1990. I really believe this software, or this graphical interface, is the future of laser engraving. So as we get into it, he's going through right now and kind of showing you how it breaks apart and going in and grabbing items so that they weld together. See how he joined them? So now he's grouped them together. Most of them won't see a group like that is what he's getting around to here. Like I say, there is a full video on this where he's in the background talking. Now this is very interesting what he's doing here. He's trying to make a cutout with a background where you're going to laser around the box and you're going to cut the inside letters out. He's showing you that the inside letters are going to fall out. So if I was to cut that out, you'd cut all that and literally the inside of the P, the inside of the D would just fall away. And I wouldn't have that source material that I need to complete my graphic. So once he sets this up, you'll see he'll basically weld in just a square, just a holder, and basically make a script font that is actually stencil. It's basically a stencil maker for any font. So he's grabbing his spare here, turning it at the angle he needs to turn it, popping it in there. Now he's just going to quickly weld it together. And boom, minus, there it is, all done. Now, as you look over to the right as he's doing this, you will see a lot of control over there. Now, what he's doing here is he's showing you the preview screen. Where other preview screens take forever to come up, his comes up immediately. And like an item like this in any other software would just take forever. What he's doing, he's setting up a stipple like you'd have for a gun. And you laser into a handle. And then he's going to watch what he does here. He's going to put that around there, and then he's going to tell it to offset. So that way he didn't have to set up a weird square and manipulate it. Boom, it's just done. And all he did was just set up the offset. Now when he goes through, he'll go ahead and weld them together so that he can go through and edit what he needs to edit. And notice he went back and edited one of those without screwing up anything. Didn't backslash or anything, just did it. Now he's going to drop in a logo. Probably, yep, the LightBurn logo, our dragon. He's going to center that up and then bring it in, and he's going to show you the way it would look at other softwares. Then he's going to show you the way you can do it in LightBurn. Now with this, what he's doing is he's showing you the error, how you would get around that. It would take you hours of delete and recombine, delete and recombine. Just the way he made the pattern was an hour on other softwares. So now what he's going to do is go back and tell it to go through and weld that all together. And it has to do with the minus command. Now that you think that's what you're looking for, but it's not what you're looking for. See, because it's making two passes, so it's going to blend over the top of that, giving you a double burn. That's not what you want. So now go through, select it all, and tell it to offset. A little bit good, that's, yeah. And you can do a tight offset or a large offset depending on what he wants. Now, once he's got that in there, go through and just join them up. Now, once he's done with that, keep your eye on when he does the preview. So he clicked it, right? Now see how it went around? Now watch the previews coming right up. Oh, he skipped the preview on me, sorry. Now, this is talking about layers and layer control. Now, a lot of you know that with a graphical interface, color is simply a label. You can assign an image to it. You can tell it if it's a closed where you want to cut or scan or raster or vector, depending on what you want to do. You can also label these within there. And the control that he has, excuse me, is unbounded. I mean, the other thing I love is, should I come up with an idea or a client come up with an idea, and we want to add it, he will add it to the software. Love to give you cake and eat it too. As I said before, you Mac owners that are running Mac, so if you're in love with Mac, you can run it from there. The big thing is that you have a lot of control. You can literally click and make the laser go to certain points. You can laser on different levels. So if you had a part number, a serial number, and a logo, all on different focuses within a part, it would do all three of those parts at one time, refocusing automatically for you once you set it up correctly. And it's a very, very fast process. I've jury rigged this on one other software, Engravers, Xenetech XGW, and it took me, at my level, hours to do. He was able to do that in 15, 20 seconds. The other thing is when you're looking at images like this, he can take fairly bad images and clean them up quickly. He also doesn't fall into a bracket where if he's got a square around there, it automatically just goes to a negative. He gives you that kind of control. You can have it a negative if you want it, or you can have it a positive, or you can vector it. If you tell most graphical interfaces to put a black box around the unit, it's going to fill the black box. As soon as you do the offset, now you have a border, which is my point, what you're going for. So what he's really showing here is the manipulation of bitmap artwork and how you wiggle it together. Because a lot of times people get all caught up in doing everything as a vector, and they really can run a bitmap if they need to. Remember, once you're on a bitmap, you're only going to see scan. You're not going to see any sort of a raster. Now, because of our auto joining, he has a great vectorization program, and he can, when he brings items in, he can do variable text off of CSV files or basically Excel spreadsheet files. Photographs like this, you can bring in whatever dither you want. The best photographs, honestly, is when I bring a photograph in from Engraver, which makes the graphics perfect, and I run it through LaserWorks or RDWorks. It looks great. When I run that same photograph through LightBurn, it jumps off the page at me. I have a lot more control of it. So the perfection that GraveLab has given me, I'm able to see that on the artwork, on the actual material with LightBurn, and I didn't realize I wasn't seeing it at all with EasyCAD or RDWorks or LaserWorks. Now, once we're in here completely, you're going to notice that you can hook to variable machines, and it will remember variable machines for you. And so you can run off of an LS controller or HP controller, which are two different controllers from Boss. There's a third controller out there you can run from. You can run from Epilogue, Universal, whatever you need to run from. We don't care. As long as you're happy with your laser, we're happy with your laser. Now, cut optimization, obviously. And as it gets through this, he's talking about the background that you get when you do a regular, fairly bad image. All he did was grab this off of YouTube and just drop it directly in, which you can't do with the other interfaces. So he's going to manipulate this so he gets rid of that, all that garbage in the background, and maintains his laser hazard sign. So if on the right here, you will see that you can run an absolute, which means wherever you place it on the page is where it's going to move with a laser, like an Epilogue Universal. Or you can run in current, which means wherever you set the origin position, it's going to run from there on the laser, or you can do both. The other thing I do like is I need the laser head to move to a certain spot. All I have to do is click it on the page and it moves right to that spot. And look at there, one click, you got rid of that background. 99%. There's a dot or two, but with a little manipulation, you get rid of that fairly easily. You can also vectorize that now and completely get away with it, but he's trying to maintain that background on the hazard. Now, with the units, DPI control is imperative, so you can run DPI or you can run intervals, whichever way you want to run. For example, 0.07 scan lines is 500 DPI, etc., etc. So the other thing that you're going to notice as we go through here is a lot of text control, knowing that the text is going to a laser. If you're a Jameson, a Rabbit, Camm-Five, a full spectrum owner, and you see like what he's showing you there, what would happen is you'd get a white area there because you got black overlay black. With one click, he's going to get rid of that for that font. Also means because of that font, he can join other characters together like he did with the Boolean. This is what led to the Boolean, is because he had this. Now, one click, gone, ready to go. No overlapping, ready to cut, whatever you want to do with it. The other thing that's cool is you can scan through and then go back and cut around items to give them effect. You can also do the spread just like you can in Corel. There's many Corel Draw features worked in here, so you don't have to exit into Corel Draw and come back in even though there's a macro. But see how he's overlapping it? See that? That's moving. That is extremely hard to do with other softwares. I mean, the first time I seen that, I was basically sold on it, on that and the ability to output to the laser in a more efficient manner. Now, last positioning of the laser. All this is imperative and very useful with what is called a positioning table, which with most lasers come with grid tables. So the ability to use your laser to make a positioning table that is to your needs is very easy. Now, later on, we're going to go through and put in presets for different materials for your stock library, but it will remember automatically what you did last and automatically bring up that. So if you're a person that's automatically doing the same thing over and over again, you don't have to worry about it. And obviously, like any graphical interface over a print driver is, it remembers the power and speed with the graphic automatically. The other thing is, you look on the side there, it's got a frame with a circle on the right-hand side. That means it'll trace around the outside of those letters instead of just doing a box. Very nice. It really helps me for lining up, and you can stop and start it as you need to so you can measure from a red light over to make sure that you're lined up correctly. Now, what he's doing now is he is showing you can manipulate the primitive graphics, the boxes, the rectangles, the squares, the circles, etc. So once we get through it, the next section, I want you to perk up when you hear me say flood fill, because flood fill for those people with glass tubes is going to change your life. The other thing that I do like is that I can do variable text input. It is pretty elementary, but it is superior to assign in position and CorelDRAW, or what they call print merge. It's not as good as maybe an advanced software like a $12,000 Engraver, but it's pretty good, especially for the price that we're paying. And positioning, we have all kinds of positioning keys that you can see there. We can do an auto layout between, and we can do very intricate items like you're seeing here. And the only thing I want you to remember when he's doing the preview like this, he is showing you what direction it's going. With other softwares, you have to change the origin point to where you can laser from the bottom to the top. And the top she'll go from the top to the bottom. This one, the origin point doesn't matter as far as it goes. The other thing is, look at how intricate that was, and it popped right into the software in less than a second. It's got all kinds of views. You definitely want a mouse with a scrolling wheel because that's going to be your friend. He's showing it right now without the fill, because when he shows the fill, he usually does it in the preview. What you do is once you're through it and you're on scan, he's showing you the scan now over in RDWorks. Now watch how slow this is. So you go through and it just takes forever and ever to come up. And then You got to look around for the preview for the estimated time, which is accurate at best within 20% either way, at best. The light time is fine. That's something you can get in the background with LightBurn. But he's showing you that you're really not seeing it the way it's going to laser. All you're doing is working around and looking at the individual items. He hasn't actually hit. Now you're going to go back and he's going to burn into it, and then he should go back and show you how fast it is with LightBurn. So he clicks it here. There it is. It's done. You can go back, move it around. You can even save the image on the screen as you see it as a bitmap. That way you can email it to somebody. We should be coming up on the flood. Flood fill is going to be something that you're really going to want to pay attention to, because basically what's going to happen there is that it's going to take really intricate drawings and optimize it for you. You will find from time to time that maybe 10% of the time you do not want to use flood fill. But if you're doing a border and you're trying to laser in a border with a line weight to it, it's the way to go. So he's got a border here. He's already rounded his edges, and he's already got it fill. He's going to make sure he doesn't have flood fill on, so it'll show you the way it will normally go, like if you were in LaserWorks or RDWorks. And then what will happen is he'll go back and show you flood fill. So now you notice it's going to go through. It's going to tell you a time, and he's going to look at the interval time there. Now that may be a little hard to see with my resolution, but right now it's 14 minutes or so here. 14 minutes for the traversing time. So he's going to slide over, and you can see it does it all as one large image. So across, so you're losing time with it traversing from left to right to laser that weight, line weight. Now, once we get through it, now we'll go back and he should turn on the flood fill, and the flood fill will laser around the geometry. So turn on flood fill and make sure you're on the right version is what he's telling you there. And then, okay, now preview. Almost no time for traversing. Cut the time massively. Lost almost 14 minutes off that job for that simple geometry. Just a border is all it is. Now, once it's done there, he should go back and show us flood fill. Now, it should work up one side and down the other is what we're looking for. And in this way, we're saving a lot of time. Same with the independent output. We see, work right up, right across, right down, and right across. Done. So remember, when you're dealing with this, is that you do have all the Dockers. I would, if you were a new LightBurn owner, I would turn one Docker at a time, experiment with it, go in. So we are going to be making a video course for this, a manual that will put everything into context for you, and that every time you buy a machine, for me at least, you'll get it for free. If you're buying somebody else's machine and you want to buy my unit, my video kits, they are for sale. But and we will support them. We don't care what you're using. We're not for one manufacturer or the other. 949-355-4000, sales at engraverschoice.com. I am Joe Breyer. Thank you.